a staggering 70,000 South Africans, predominantly from the Afrikaner community, have signaled their intent to flee to the United States, spurred by a provocative executive order from President Donald Trump. The move follows months of escalating tensions between Washington and Pretoria, ignited by Trump's vocal condemnation of South Africa's recent land reform policies. The South African Chamber of Commerce in the USA, a business group representing South African expatriates, reported that its website was overwhelmed with 67,042 registrations from individuals seeking details on resettlement. The surge came after Trump's February executive order, which branded Afrikaners, descendants of 17th-century Dutch settlers, as victims of unjust racial discrimination and offered them refugee status. In March, Trump broadened the invitation to include all South African farmers, declaring the country a bad place to be right now. Neil Diamond, president of SACUSA, confirmed that the organization recently submitted the list of interested individuals to the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria. This is a pivotal step, Diamond told Newsroom Africa, noting that most registrants were aged 25 to 45 with 2 to 3 dependents. While SACUSA is not a government entity, it stepped in to manage the flood of inquiries after being inundated with requests. The exodus stems from Trump's aggressive rhetoric and actions against South Africa, which intensified after President Cyril Ramaphosa signed a controversial land reform bill into law in January. The legislation allows the state to seize land without compensation in the public interest, a move aimed at addressing historical inequities from the apartheid era. South Africa's white minority, including Afrikaners, still controls the majority of privately held land and wealth, more than 3 decades after apartheid's end. Trump seized on the issue, cutting U.S. aid to South Africa last month and accusing its government of government-sponsored race-based discrimination. His remarks have resonated with some white South Africans who claim they face discrimination, a narrative amplified by right-wing groups in the U.S. Last week, the situation escalated further when Secretary of State Marco Rubio expelled South Africa's ambassador to Washington, calling him a race-baiting politician. South African leaders have pushed back. President Ramaphosa insisted that no land has been seized and that the new law aligns with constitutional principles of equity and justice. For many Afrikaners, however, Trump's offer represents a lifeline. The U.S. Embassy in Pretoria acknowledged receiving SACUSA's list, but declined to comment on processing timelines. Meanwhile, the diplomatic rift between the two nations shows no signs of abating, with Trump's attacks triggering what could become one of the largest migrations of South Africans to the U.S. in modern history. As the situation unfolds, the world watches a deeply polarized debate over race, land, and international intervention play out, with nearly 70,000 South Africans poised to vote with their feet.